Hey, what's going on guys? This is Will, and in this video I have some more anime figures to share with you. So for the past few months I've been collecting some pre-owned figures, mostly Monogatari figures. I'm trying to complete that collection and I got quite a few in this haul. Plus I had some other pre-owned figures that I kind of consider to be grail figures that I'm super excited to share with you guys. And then in addition to that, I also have my Ami shipment in for the month of July. So I've already unboxed everything, trying to streamline this video as much as possible. So let's go ahead and get all the Monogatari figures out of the way first. So these first two figures are just a couple little prize figures that I picked up, and they're gonna be Hanekawa as well as Kiss Shot from the movie Kizu Monogatari. Now, if you don't know anything about the Monogatari series, Kizu Monogatari are the movies, and they have a completely different art style than the actual TV series. And I really wanted a Hanekawa in that art style, just like how she was portrayed in it. And this is pretty much like the only really good option. They don't have any scale figures of her from the actual movies, but this little prize figure here is not too bad. It's actually fairly old. I think it came out in like 2017. It was like 700 yen or something like that. But it looks pretty good. It's a very nicely done figure. I mean, the sculpt, the paint job is pretty well done. Whoever owned this before did a good job keeping up with it. But yeah, she is super cute. I really do love the pose that she's in, and it looks just like her from the movie. And it also came with this Kiss Shot figure as well. So I wasn't actually looking for this. They came together, but you know, nice little cute little Kiss Shot figure that we have here. I wasn't really looking for a Kiss Shot because I already have her from the Kizu Monogatari movies, and I didn't really care too much about this version of her. If you know Kiss Shot, you know she has different ages in the movie, but this one, you know, it's cool. It's not too bad either. I actually like it now that I actually have it in hand. She looks pretty cute. Really do like the smug look on her face. It's absolutely perfect and definitely very much Kiss Shot. The next figure that I have here is also a Monogatari prize figure, but it's relatively new. It came out at the end of 2022. It's going to be Senjoughara. This is a Taito prize figure. It's called the Taito Crane Limited version on my figure collection, so I'm guessing limited edition. And I can probably vouch for that because I actually had a hard time finding this figure on the normal Japanese websites like Mercari or even Yahoo Japan Auction. It was really hard. I could only find one. It was actually super expensive at like 50 bucks before shipping. I got this one off of AliExpress and it cost me $25 including shipping. And ordering off AliExpress was definitely a little nerve-wracking. I wasn't sure if it's gonna be legit or not, but they had a picture of the legit box, and sure enough, here she is, and 100% legit for sure. And this Senjoughara has to be one of my favorite figures of her. This is just so well done. It's just a prize figure, but it's just perfect. I mean, it just screams Senjoughara. Her face looks absolutely, you know, spot on. I love the pose. I mean, it's kind of playful and teasing at the same time. And if you know Senjo, the series, you know that is definitely her personality. The overall paint and sculpt of her outfit, I mean, I can't really find any flaws with it. This is literally like scale level quality here. So they did a really good job with the overall sculpt and paint job. And then her hair sculpt on the back, I mean, look at that. It's just perfect. You can't get that much better on a scale figure in my opinion. It does have the translucent tips, but it's not like overly done where it's like super translucent at the end. So I can definitely live with that. Really not that big of a deal. And the only negative thing I could say about this figure is that the seams on her hair on top of her head where they connect, it's not like perfect, but it's really not that bad either, and you're really not gonna be looking at it that hard. So very small complaint. 10 out of 10 figure for me. If you're a Senjo fan, I definitely think you should have this in your collection. You're probably gonna have to get it off AliExpress though, so you know, hopefully you get a legitimate seller, but she definitely looks great. And oh, and the base, let me talk about that. Simple base, has her name on it with some stationery, you know, signifying Senjo, of course. Nice purple clear base. Cool, whatever. But yeah, definitely a great figure and one of my favorite figures of Senjo. I wish it was a scale figure, 1/8, 1/7. I would be so happy, but I would definitely take this little prize figure for sure. Moving on to these last two Monogatari figures. They're both going to be scale figures. And the first one here is going to be Good Smile Company's 1/8 of Mayoi Hajikuji, Mayoi the snail. And I was kind of on the fence as to whether or not I wanted to get this figure because I kind of have a similar Mayoi figure, I believe by Ban Presto, where she's kind of sitting down like on like this big ramp. So I had that already, but I saw this one just kind of randomly actually. I wasn't really looking for her on Yahoo Japan auction, but she was fairly cheap, like 9,000 yen or something, and she looks in pretty good condition. So I always like this figure. I mean, it's really good quality. Just judging by the pictures, and now that I have it on hand, definitely say it's really good quality, good smile company, did not disappoint with this one. And this is something I was not expecting was the base. I've never seen pictures of the base before, and I can understand why. It's absolutely huge, so I'm guessing a lot of people don't actually use it when it's on display. But the base has the shadow of Aragi on the very bottom of it. So when you put Mayoi on top of it, it looks like, from her perspective, she's looking up at Aragi, which is absolutely hilarious. I actually love that aspect of it. I'm going to try to fit this in my Detolf because I feel like this is actually the best part of the figure, but it is, again, pretty big, like the size of my hand almost, and I have pretty decent sized hands, so pretty sad about that, but it's definitely absolutely hilarious. Now moving on to the last Monogatari figure of this video, it's going to be Kotobukiya's 1/8 scale of my girl, Kanbaru Sugura. Kanbaru Sugura. I'm pretty sure that is how you say it. I had to have a figure of my girl, and she doesn't have a lot of scale figures. She has this one by Kotobukiya, 1/8 scale, and then she has another 1/8 scale by Good Smile Company, where she's sitting down, surrounded by her red boy love books, reading a book. And I'm sure that one is good quality, you know, Good Smile Company, but it just looks very boring. It just doesn't really capture her personality, in my opinion. I understand, you know, she loves her boy love books. She has an entire room in the series filled with these red books, but I just found the figure and, you know, her facial expression just be kind of boring. But I think Kotobukiya just kind of nailed it with this one here. I mean, it's an absolutely ridiculous pose, but you can see her doing something like this. It's definitely her personality, so I love that aspect of it. It does come with either the monkey paw or the wrapped arm, whichever one you want to go with, but I went with the monkey paw. I think that one is just a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna put her on my Detolf, put her right there in the center on the shelf, give her the respect that she deserves. I'm just a little worried because, you know, just due to the angle, I'm not sure if my Detolf lighting will like hit her face as well as I want it to, but fingers crossed, hopefully it won't be too bad of a problem. But yeah, absolutely love this figure. Now moving away from the Monogatari series, I do have a couple of more pre-owned figures for you guys, and both of these that I'm looking at right here are probably going to be considered grail figures for me. This first one is going to be Amakuni's 1/7 scale of Makoto from Persona 5, specifically the Dancing Star Night version of her. I didn't play the game, I only played regular P5 Royal, but Makoto, definitely one of my top waifu, definitely top 3 for sure. So I wanted to have a scale figure of her. So I saw this one, I thought it looked great. Her overall pose looks terrific, and now that I have her in hand, like the pictures really did do it justice for me. I love this figure. It kind of blew me away, exceeded my expectations. I mean, again, love the pose that she's in. She's very playful. It makes sense. It's not like too over exaggerated like I see some poses on some anime figures. I think this one just kind of fits, and her outfit looks absolutely wonderful. I mean, the overall design of it I think is really, really cute, but just the kind of technical aspects of them actually making this figure is just very, very cleanly and just crisp, just very well done. Really no flaws with it whatsoever. And I love the stockings. I didn't realize that she was wearing these garter belts. That's very okay, Makoto, I see you. I see you. Outfit looks great. These boots, these red boots down here, the way that they shaded and painted these things, very nicely done. So yeah, I love this figure. And of course, her face, I mean, it looks just like Makoto, so I definitely appreciate that. So this figure, I'm about to say it, I feel like this is the best Makoto figure out there right now. Now, I know some of you are going to disagree. Some of you are going to point to the Amakuni figure of her sitting on top of Joanna. That was great too. It's actually being re-released, and it comes out in 2024, March 2024, so not that far away. And I do have it on pre-order. And now that I'm looking at the pictures again, she does look pretty good in that figure as well. So we'll see, we will see. But I'm definitely gonna have both in my collection regardless because it's Makoto and they're both great figures. So why not? Why not? Oh, and before I move on, I paid 18,000 yen for this figure. It was about 130 USD, and it's actually brand new, unopened. So definitely a pretty good deal on this. Now this next figure is one that I have been searching for a very long time. Pretty much since I started collecting almost 2 years ago, I've been searching for this one, especially for my wife because she loves this anime, she loves this character. In fact, she's rewatching this anime right now. So I surprised her with this figure and I got a whole bunch of husband points for it. But this is going to be Alter's 1/8 scale of Archer from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. And I was so happy to finally get this figure. And let me tell you, how much did I pay for it? I paid only 18,500 yen for this, about $133, and it is in like pristine condition. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. All the pieces were included, and this figure is absolutely badass. I mean, like I said, we both love Fate, and she loves it more than I do, and she loves her some Archer. So yeah, had to have it in my collection. He just looks really good. Now it does come with like the two headpieces, him and his, I guess, Emiya hair down version, and then him with his hair slicked back, looking like, typical Archer, I guess. And he does come also with the bow and the arrow. I have it like this right now just because I was, taking some B-roll and whatnot, but my wife is pretty much gonna have it with his hair slicked back with the bow and arrow in his hand and not the actual daggers that we have here. But either way, I think they both are really good representations of the character. And yeah, we absolutely love this. I mean, even the base is pretty clean. I mean, it's that big black glossy base, but it's kind of classy with that little line going through the middle with the Archer name right there printed on there as well. So pretty dope figure. Pretty happy to finally have this, especially for that price. 18,500 yen, $133 is just, yes, absolutely perfect. So yeah, very dope figure. Now moving on to this Ami box. So I have 3 figures for you guys. One is actually going to be a pre-owned figure, but it just came out just a few months ago. I didn't get it right away because I knew I was going to be able to pick it up later for cheaper, either pre-owned or just, when it dropped in price. And sure enough, it definitely did. Got it for a pretty good deal. It's going to be Hanekawa's 1/7 scale of Hero from a couple of cuckoos. And I think it was just my last video, I unboxed Erica from a couple of cuckoos. Same line, same similar bunny outfit. And I absolutely love that figure. I thought Hanekawa did a really, really good job with it. And I can say the same, applies here with Hero here. I mean, she looks absolutely wonderful. I really do like these smaller bunny figures quite a bit, mainly because of that the price. The quarter scale bunny figures are just too expensive for me. I just don't feel like paying that much for those quarter scales. I mean, I know they're large and all, but I don't know. Bunny outfits just don't do it enough for me to, kind of shell out that kind of money. But these smaller version ones like this is definitely nice. And I only paid maybe like $85 or $90. So I think it's about $60 cheaper than retail. So definitely a pretty good deal in my opinion. But yeah, she looks terrific. Her actual bunny suit, I mean, just the shading, that blue in there, the paint, it's just very well done. And of course it's glossy, as you can see. Got the little bow tie on. The heels look pretty nice as well. Nice heel, nice size heel, not too small. Gotta make sure the heel is on point, especially if you're gonna be in a bunny suit. And then her face, it looks just like Hero. I mean, if you don't watch the anime, feel free to Google her and you can see that this looks just like her. Love the smile and the expression that she has on her face. And then behind her, she has that chocolate heart. I believe that's what that's supposed to be in her hand. It's still kind of weird for me that she is carrying that, but she has that. And we do have the seams on her stockings are kind of thick, but I don't think they could have made them any smaller. I'm sure if it was on a bigger figure, like a quarter scale, I'm assuming that it's going to be a little bit cleaner than what we see here on this smaller figure. But not really a big deal for me because I'm not gonna be looking at her from that actual angle anyway. But yeah, this figure, it's just a 1/7 scale, but it is huge. It is absolutely huge. This is more like a 1/6 scale. I compared her to my Mai Sakurajima, and yeah, she is definitely way, way bigger. Even my Makoto here, I mean, you just bump them up right next to each other, and you can see that Hero's head here is just way bigger. She's way taller than Makoto here. Just, you know, every aspect of her is bigger. So this is definitely a 1/6 scale in my opinion, not a 1/7 scale, which gives me even more value. So yeah, definitely love this figure. I mean, I'm not really in love with the actual anime. I get this figure because me and my friend, like I said in the other video, are kind of have a little, you know, wager on who is going to win the harem war in the anime. He's Team Hero, I'm Team Erica. We will see. We will see. All right, now moving on to our next figure here. This one is actually going to be brand new. Just came out at the end of July. It's going to be Bandai's Figuarts Zero figure of Chainsaw Man from, of course, the anime Chainsaw Man. Now, I have quite a few of these Figuarts Zero figures, and I find them to be usually pretty good bang for buck for a non-scale figure. You usually get like this very small, maybe like 1/8, I want to say, figure, and then you usually get like a really elaborate base to go with it. And usually the figure itself is kind of like in a dynamic pose as well. So lots of points there. You know, you got a nice dynamic pose, you have a very elaborate base. Usually Figuarts Zero figures are pretty well done. Now this one here, this costs 8,500 yen, which is roughly $60 at the time of this video. And before I even get into like reviewing it, I think it looks pretty good for 60 bucks. I can't really complain too much. So let's go and jump into it, look at some details here. Now this figure is supposed to be Chainsaw Man killing the Bat Demon. They're trying to capture the moment he kills the Bat Demon with this figure. So this is when he's literally jumping through the Bat Demon, cutting him up, and this is like all the Bat Demon's like guts and innards and whatnot. And here's my big negative with this figure. These purple things on here are supposed to be blood. These cranberry juice looking clear plastic is supposed to be blood. I don't know why they went with this color. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's like a limitation to what they can do, but I just don't understand why they went with that. So it's kind of my biggest probably negative with this figure. And that same kind of color kind of continues with what's painted on his actual chainsaws as well. It's not really red, it's that kind of like purplish color. And I'm not sure if that's like from the anime or not, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure the blood looks like blood in the actual anime. So hopefully you guys can kind of tell from the actual video what I'm talking about here. But yeah, kind of my big negative about that. And then looking at his actual chainsaws, they're kind of like a soft plastic. They do have like a little bend to them, but they're pretty straight right out of the actual box. They look pretty good. I think for like the length of them, they're not too short or anything like that. So appreciate that. And then jumping into his outfit. So there's a lot going on with his outfit. Very detailed, maybe a little bit too detailed in some places. So like his shirt, man, all those wrinkles on his shirt look just really, really well sculpted. Maybe a little bit too many wrinkles to be kind of realistic, but not too bad at all. And they did like a lot of weathering to make the shirt look kind of dirty and grimy. So I really do appreciate that level of detail here. And then looking at like his pants here. So again, this is just too many creases in his pants, I think. I just feel like no one's gonna have that many folds in their pants, even in this position, unless they just have a lot of material on their jeans. But I'm kind of nitpicking here. When I'm looking at it, really not that big of a deal. Pants look pretty well done as well. And then his shoes, I don't know how I feel about his shoes. They look a little, what's the word I'm thinking? Just unrefined. I mean, just the way that they kind of put them together, they just don't look very cleanly done compared to the rest of the figure. I'm not sure if they're doing that on purpose. Is it supposed to mimic the manga or the anime? I have no idea, but the shoes don't look too great. But again, when I'm holding it from a distance, I don't really mind it too much at all. And then we have his head, of course. His head is fine. It's not like too detailed or anything like that. Again, it's a fairly small figure, and there's a lot of things going on with Denji's head. He has like those chains going down his neck, it's all his teeth and whatnot, and the stuff on the back of his chainsaw helmet. So there's a lot going on, and it's kind of probably hard to do for like a 1/8 scale, something like of this size, to put too much detail in it without costing a lot of money. So I think they did a pretty decent job here. And if you look closer, you can see his eyes, a little yellow eye underneath the actual orange part of his helmet, and his teeth look pretty decent. So yeah, not too bad with his head at all. And yeah, overall, you know, I would say this figure, I would give it like a solid 8.5. I mean, just for the money, the value, I think is pretty decent. The biggest negative for me is definitely going to be the color of that blood. If you can't get past that, I totally understand it. I can kind of get past it, which is why I'm kind of keeping the score around that 8.5, but not too bad of a figure for just 8,500 yen. Now moving on to the final figure of this video, and this is one I'm pretty excited for. It's going to be Good Smile Company's 1/6 scale of Miku Nakano from Quintessential Quintuplets, the third quintuplet, but fourth best. I don't want to hear it. There are 3 sisters better than her. She's only better than Isuki, but no, seriously, I love me some Miku, and again, I was super excited for this figure. I mean, it's a 1/6 scale for 17,000 yen, which is roughly $115. So that's a pretty damn good deal for a brand new figure of this quality in 2023. All Good Smile Company had to do was deliver on their prototypes and their promo photos that we've been seeing. And Good Smile, they usually do hit it. They usually do hit it. We usually get what we see in their product photos. And with this figure here, very, very well done. So let's just look at how she looks. I mean, it looks just like Miku. Really no complaints. I mean, you look at her, you can't say that it doesn't look like Miku. I really, again, expect this from Good Smile Company with that. Love her facial expression. A little tilt of her head. She's kind of endearing. I really, really do like that when she's kind of looking over at you. And then her outfit. Now, I'm not really big into fashion or anything like that. I'm sitting here wearing a anime girl t-shirt, but yeah, I love her outfit. The sweater dress, the jacket that goes over top of her little booties down there, just kind of goes so well together. Overall color scheme between things, like the color of her purse, that little pop of blue that just happens to match her eyes and the headphones. Very, very nicely done. Now this sweater dress looks really good. I mean, it has that texture to it. It doesn't feel like a real sweater, of course. It's still hard plastic, but still having that texture on there just kind of gives it that 3D pop when you're looking at it, making it look more realistic. So I really do like that. I feel like I have another Good Smile Company with a sweater that's pretty similar to this. So definitely appreciate that from Good Smile Company when they do figures like that. And then turning around, looking at her jacket, it's pretty nicely painted, pretty nicely shaded, good amount of detail there. And then, I already said something about the purse, it's fine. Not like the most fashionable purse, but I think, for Miku here, it's perfectly fine. I do love the color of it. And then the back of her head, looking at her hair, it's pretty nicely sculpted, really no complaints there. And the overall base, I feel maybe a little bit too big. It's not like a huge base, but I feel like for a figure that's just kind of standing straight up and down, it didn't need to be this big. And then when I looked at like the other product photos of the other sisters, I feel like their bases will be a little bit smaller. We'll see. I have all of them on pre-order, so I will be getting them. But yeah, this Miku figure is absolutely wonderful. And I just can't believe it's so cheap. I mean, in 2023, I just cannot get over that. All right, so that wraps it up for this haul video, guys. Be sure to smash that like button, easy way to support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe for more videos in the future, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.